All right, welcome to the Fantasy Football Last Call podcast, week one edition. My name's Joe Bond, founder of FantasySixPack.net. Got a new co-host this week. I'll let him introduce himself. I can't point the right direction. I suck at this. What's up, man?
What's up, man? How you doing? Of course, I'm Geoff. I'm Geoff Lambert, founder of GoingFor2.com and Going4 2 Live. You can follow me on Twitter at JeoffLambert77. What's up, Joe?
What's going on, man? Hope it was a better week one for you than it was me, because I did not do well this week.
Yeah, I did well in my season-long leagues. My DFS leagues, not so much, but my season-long leagues are actually doing pretty well.
Yeah, there's a couple leagues where I scored a good number of points. It was like 130, 140 points. I just got smoked. I went against all the high. I was like 180, 190 points against me in a couple of leagues, and I'm like, what do you do? It's nothing. It's the beast of fantasy football. But we are at halftime of the Bears and the Rams, and it's 13-7. You would have thought I guess we sort of expected the Rams to struggle on offense a little bit against this Bears defense, and the Bears to struggle against the Rams offense or defense as well. The big story to me is David Montgomery actually getting in the end zone, 79 yards rushing already. Kind of the lead story here coming out of this first half, and people were worried about him. We got a lot of questions with him this morning on the Sunday Social podcast with myself, LaPlante, and Dylan Clemens. So hopefully you guys listened to us and started him anyway, despite the fears. And but let's run into the rest of the week, man. You ready?
Let's do it, man. We'll start off here at the top with the Eagles at the Falcons. 32-6 was the score there. A couple of stats from that game. Hurts, 27-35, 264, 3 TDs. Also ran for 62 yards. Devonta Smith had a good game, 6 for 71 and a touchdown. On the other side, Ryan, not so much. Matt Ryan, who usually is really good at home, especially in home openers, went 21 for 25, but had no touchdowns or no picks. Really, the story here, I think, is Jalen Hurts. I think, he did better than I expected him to do, and I'm sure he did better than you thought he would do as well.
Yeah, man. I have him in our crab cake league. I took him, and very happy. I'm going to lose that league anyway, but it's just one of those weeks where I was pleasantly surprised to see how well he threw the ball. Granted, it is the Falcons defense, so take it with a grain of salt. But the offense looked very, very good with him. And the 62 rushing yards isn't what you expected. But hey, you got 3 passing touchdowns out of him. Nobody expected that either, and that's a positive. So I'll take it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, against this Falcon defense, they are a bad defense, so we can't put too much stock into that. But he did look really good. On the other side, pretty much the opposite. The Falcons looked pretty much terrible. You think they miss Julio?
Dude, yeah, it was rough, man. You would thought Ridley would have gone off, and historically he has without Julio, but the running backs did nothing. They just shared the workload. Ryan looked terrible. They were just getting bombarded on offense. I'm looking for this offense to hopefully bounce back a little bit next week. I don't know who they play. I don't look forward to the schedule, but you have to assume they're going to do better than this.
This
was to hope.
This was brutal. I mean, it killed your Ridley stocks. It killed your Kyle Pitts.
Davis,
everybody.
Russell Gage, zeros, by the way. Oof.
Yeah, it was pretty terrible. All right, let's move to the next game.
Absolutely.
Go ahead and do that. All right, so next game was kind of a bad game for fantasy. Steelers at Bills, 23-16. Big Ben looks terrible, 16 for 32, 188 yards and a touch. Josh Allen threw 51 times, completed 30 of them for 270, also ran for 44. Diggs was pretty much what Diggs does. It's 9 for 69 and a touchdown. The big story for me, honestly, happened before the game even started, and that was Zach Moss being inactive. What do you think of that? Joe?
Oh, sorry, I switched over to YouTube real quick to get the link, and it was echoing on me, so I didn't know you were done talking. Sorry. So repeat that question. My bad, man. I apologize.
I said the biggest story from this game, I think, happened before the game even started, was that Zach Moss being ruled inactive.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was very, very unexpected, and Singletary did, not great, but you weren't expecting him to anyway. To me, it was just like, it was Josh Allen just really struggling in this game. As you mentioned, like all around, it was just a bad fantasy game. 30 for 51. I mean, it looked like old Josh Allen, man. Like 2018, where like he wasn't completing passes and like it just missing guys. And man, you have to hope that's just, they weren't playing in the preseason and just maybe, they're just not in sync. So I'm just hoping both offenses look much, much better because there's a lot riding on a lot of teams riding on these offenses for sure, including me.
Yeah. I think Josh Allen was probably the highest owned quarterback in DraftKings, and he let a lot of people down today because he definitely was not doing so well.
I had him because I felt like he was cheaper than he should have been. I didn't really like him for the day, but at his price, I was like, yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Yep.
I felt like it was a no-brainer, but oh well.
Other than that, I mean, not much from this game that I thought was very interesting. Anything you saw?
Nah, not really. We can move on.
All right, let's move on to the Vikings at Bengals. Vikings win this game 24 to. Is that right? 24 to 16. I thought the Bengals won this game.
Did I write it down wrong?
Yeah,
that's me trying to rush it before. Oh wow, yeah, I wrote. Wow, 24-27, right? You're right. Bengals 27.
So Bengals won that one. I thought there was a last
double check my work, man. My bad on that one.
All good. So the Bengals win this game. The Vikings, they looked good towards the end of the game there, but Cook was not so great. 20 for 61. He caught 6 for 43, but he had a big fumble in that game. Cousins was pretty good. 36 for 49, 351, 2 touchdowns. Thielen, it was his normal self, 9 for 92 and 2 touchdowns. On the other end, Burrow was okay with 261 yards and 2 touchdowns. Chase, he was a big surprise there. Everyone kind of, he's dropping passes, but yeah, he didn't drop passes in this game. 5 for 101. And Higgins did his thing too at 5 for 58 with a touchdown. And honestly, the story for me, other than the guys we already know about, was KJ Osborne. I think ends up being the biggest beneficiary from the Irv Smith Jr. injury. As a number 3 receiver there, he had 9 targets today. So, went 7 for 76. What do you think of that?
Who's KJ Osborne is what I need to know. Like, where'd this guy come from? Like, dude, all I gotta say is there's gonna be a lot of people blowing fab and waiver wire bids on this guy, and like, I don't know, man. I don't know if this is the real deal or not. It's one of those, like, is it for? I just literally don't know. I don't even honestly know who this guy is. The biggest story to me is Joe Mixon got 29 carries. Like, what the hell?
Yeah,
29
carries. That's true. That's a lot.
It is a lot. I mean, I know they were winning, but 29 carries is absurd. I mean, this is a guy who's been hurt a lot. Like, been hurt. You can't do that. I know they're trying to protect Burrow, and maybe that's a lot. It is obviously a lot of it, but Chase catching the ball, that 50-yard bomb was fantastic to watch. He just blew by the defender. Yep. Yeah, I mean, this was a fun fantasy game to watch. There were points galore on all sides. Like, all the guys you wanted to score scored. I mean, Cook didn't quite do what you wanted him to do, but hey, he still got in the end zone, and that matters. So, and he caught 6 passes, so he made up for it.
He definitely did. And I think with that KJ Osborne thing, too, we got to take into account that Cousins threw the ball 49 times. I don't think that's the Vikings game script, is that the ball 49.
Probably not. They were down for most of this game, so yeah, he was playing catch up. But that might happen a lot with this Minnesota defense.
Yep.
I mean, if they can't get a lead on Cincy, who are they going to get a lead on?
Yeah, that's
right. Maybe there's something to this.
Good point. All right, let's move on to the 49ers game. It's my team here. We got out to a huge lead, ended up holding on to it at the end, 41-33. Had a bit of a scare at the end there. Jimmy G gets the start, goes over 300 yards there. The big news there was Mostert going out, and Elijah Mitchell, who I had been pumping up all offseason.
I tweeted at you today, man.
Yes, I saw that.
I gave you credit for this.
Yep. Debo has a huge game, 9 for 189 and a touchdown. He has a big fumble at the end of the game that almost cost him the game. Thankfully,
where's Ayuk?
Yeah, that's the big question. What happened to him? He didn't even play in the first quarter. He didn't play a single snap.
What happened?
Quarter. I don't know if it's something that happened off the field that we don't know about, because I think for him to not play a single snap in that first quarter, something had to happen. There was something that he either missed a team meeting or something happened, because that was a little weird. On the other side of the ball, Geoff goes 38 for 57, 338, and 3 touchdowns. Pretty good debut for him against what we thought was being a good defense. They didn't look so great today. Hawkinson, I think we've all kind of expected him to take that elite step, and I think he kind of showed that. 8 for 97 in the touchdown. And the big story right there is really them almost coming back and winning and playing a lot better than we all thought. I mean, they have 0 receivers, really, it seemed like, coming into the season, but they found a way to make some things happen there. What are your thoughts on this game?
Ooh, this one I thought was over a lot earlier, like you said, man. It was it was pretty interesting just to watch Detroit just chunk back, slowly, and then it was like, oh, this is a real game. For me, I already mentioned Ayuk going out or not playing. Who knows? Was kind of weird. Debo just being a beast. It was telling. I kind of was pumping Debo over Ayuk all season. But it is what it is. We'll see what happens when they're both really on the field. Who knows with the running backs, as you've mentioned before? Like, it's just an unknown backfield all around. For me, it was this Detroit backfield. Honestly, Williams and Swift pretty much split 50-50, and they both did well. They both scored. Williams was on the ground. Swift was in the air. There was a report like super late before the game started that Swift wasn't going to start, and Williams was going to get the bulk of the workload, and it really didn't work out that way. It's kind of 50-50. So, and this was one of those backfields where I didn't really want either one of the guys. I took Williams in a bunch of best balls just because he was falling so late, but I didn't get Swift anywhere.
I don't have him either.
Yeah, I mean. And clearly, like, Hawkinson's the only receiver that matters, because the other 2 receivers that mattered were the running backs. So you don't want Amon-Ra, you don't want Tyrell, you don't want Cephas. Like, it's just not. I mean, whatever. Cephas scored, but 7 targets and only caught 3 of them.
Yeah, it's not good.
Welcome to Geoff Golf world.
Exactly.
And moving on.
Yeah, let's just hope that those people that got that alert for Swift didn't take him out of their lineups, because I know my friends took him out of the lineup and then were upset when he had.
I moved him down like 3 spots in my running back rankings, and like kind of regret it now. But at least it was only 3. I'm sure people went more drastic than that.
Yep. All right, next game we got is the Cardinals at the Titans. Cardinals win this game 38-13. The Titans really looked absolutely terrible. I watched a lot of this game. Murray was a beast, 21 for 32, 289, 4 touchdowns. He did throw 1 pick. He also had 5 for 20 and a rushing touchdown as well. Edmonds and Connor were pretty split on the carries. I think Edmonds looked a little better personally. Hopkins continues to be a beast, 6 for 82 and 2 touchdowns.
You see that play where he did the little okey doke where he spun around from the guy? Like, that was nasty.
That was beautiful. It was. And like I mentioned on the other side of the ball, Tannehill was terrible. His usual efficient self was not
efficient
great.
At all.
Not at all. Henry only had 58 yards. A.J. Brown saved his day with a touchdown. He had 4 for 49 and a touchdown. If you waited for that touchdown, you were probably disappointed, but at least he got that touchdown for you. Yeah, so this game, really, are you worried about anybody on the Titan side if you own any of those players?
I don't think I'm worried quite yet. I mean, it got out of control really quickly, and this isn't the Titans game. They ride Henry, and then, like you said, Tannehill's efficient because they can ride Henry. Excuse me. And then, it's he's play action guy, and that gets Brown open, that gets Julio open. I mean, Julio actually dropped a few balls. Like, he dropped a touchdown. It kind of apparently got up on him. Like, it was just weird. It was like, what in the world is going on with this team? And it just got out of control quickly. But I mean, kudos to the Cardinals. They came to play. The passing offense was fantastic. Kyler Murray was great. That they came to play, man. Tennessee needs to work out this week.
Yep, definitely. They got some work cut up for them. Moving on to the next game, the Seahawks take on the Colts. They win this game 28-16. Russell Wilson was Russell Wilson. Lockett gave you his 1 of 4 big games. He'll give you a year. He actually had it in week 1.
Right. I was telling somebody that same thing.
Exactly. And then on the other side of the ball, the real takeaway for me was, well, not really takeaway, but the question I have for you is, how do you think Wentz looked? I mean, we didn't think he'd be here week 1, and here he was.
I mean, look, he played and he came out of it unhurt. I mean, that's all you can say, right? In 251 and 2 touchdowns, he had a couple of snafus. He got sacked a few times. A couple of them were his fault. He did fumble, but. Yeah, I mean, I think the offense is going to need to gel because he didn't play in camp, he didn't play in the preseason, nothing, and that's obviously going to hurt a team. I mean, the Seahawks was a tough opener. Yeah, you said Russ was Russ. I mean, 18 completions and 4 touchdowns. I mean, this is what he does, man. Yep. He does this. He's so he's almost more efficient and more touchdown, rate heavy than Tannehill is. And then everybody gets all hyped up with him. And then for some reason, especially the last 2 years, we've seen Russell Wilson be like this for the first 8 weeks, and then this the last 8 weeks. Down, yep. So I don't know if we could expect to have this keep going, but I mean. Yeah, if it is, I mean, Lockett and Metcalf are going to be doing this, 4 or 5 catches for, 80 yards-ish and then a touchdown each. So,
yeah.
And hey, Ever got in the end zone too.
I want to give Lockett his props too. I mean, as far as difficulty of catching passes, I mean, he catches some of the most difficult passes you may have ever seen thrown. He finds a way to get his feet down.
Him and Christian Kirk both had the backwards, looking over their shoulder, not even looking over the shoulder, looking over their back to catches today. Those are hard.
Definitely. All right, let's move to the next game here. Chargers at the Washington football team. Chargers take this game 20-16. If you were worried about Herbert in the sophomore slump, don't worry about it. He had a pretty good game here against a pretty good defense. 31 for 47, 337, a touchdown. Eckler, 15 for 57, not a great game. He did have a touchdown. Ironically, no passing work whatsoever.
Yeah, so, that was odd. Maybe they're saving the hamstring a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. Keenan Allen, typical Keenan Allen, 9 for 108. Mike Williams had a pretty good game as well, 8 for 82. On the other side, Gibson got the workload. We were kind of worried about maybe McKissick getting some stuff there, but Gibson was the beast there. And talk about difficult catches. You see that catch from McLaurin? That he
I think I missed that one.
You missed that?
Oh, no, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Near the sideline?
Yeah.
He turned backwards and that was nuts, man. I thought he was out of bounds at first.
Yeah, so did I. On the live play, I thought he was out of bounds. But yeah, I saw it in a replay slow-mo. I was like, oh my God, how the hell did he catch that? Any takeaways from this game other than what we already mentioned? I mean, Fitzpatrick hurt, so we got to mention that, I guess.
I mean, the big things for me, as you just, as you mentioned, Gibson getting the massive workload, 20 carries was something I didn't expect at all. Not that I really thought McKissick was going to get some carries away from him, but I just didn't think they would even run him that many times regardless. But then also, something I have been saying all off season is, guys, be careful. McKissick, I don't know, is going to be the PPR back that we saw last year. Fitzpatrick, doesn't like to throw to the running backs. There's an article that I saw from PFF that kind of threw that out there, that he just doesn't check down. And even when he got hurt, Heineke didn't do it. So, careful there. I love the fact that Mike Williams saw 12 targets. That is phenomenal. I love this guy's talent, but he just never has seen the target load that we want, and he's never gotten the receptions. He's never been a PPR guy. He usually gives 3 catches for 50 yards, maybe 100 and a touch. He's a big game guy. So if this is going to work, he's going to be a massive steal. Jared Cook also saw 8 targets. So that's something to take away.
Yeah, good call, because
he's probably on the waiver in a lot of leagues.
Yep, that is true. And Mike Williams' game could have been even bigger. He had 2 pretty big drops. I think one of them was for a touchdown that he dropped. So if Williams would have caught those, he could have had a monster game.
Hard to catch everything when you're watching Red Zone, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right, next game. Not a whole lot here to talk about. Jets at Panthers. Not a lot of points scored here. Panthers take this game 19-14. Biggest thing is CMC looked healthy. If you're worried about health, he looks fine. He came out, I think, 180-ish total yards there. Didn't score, but you'll still take that in fantasy.
9 receptions off 9 targets.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ridiculous. Other than that, not too much. I mean, Wilson struggled a little bit, but he's a rookie. We kind of expect that. Corey Davis. Corey Davis, if you thought that it was going to be Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, 5 for 97, 2 touchdowns, I'd take that all day.
Yeah, absolutely. Elijah Moore, not a good day from him. This, and obviously the Jets' running game was non-existent. They weren't even they were down, but it wasn't out of control. Yeah. Probably the big takeaway for me is, so with McCaffrey back, Robbie Anderson, who people really like too, saw 3 targets. Yes, he caught one of them for 57 yards and a touchdown, but 3 targets?
Yeah.
That's not a good sign, guys. Terrence Marshall caught more than him. And saw more targets. So
especially in the quote-unquote revenge game with his former team. So, yeah.
That's something to worry about, honestly, in my opinion.
All right, move on to the next game here. The Jags played the Texans. Texans get this game. Surprisingly to me, I had the Jags winning this game, but Texans win 27-21. Really, the big story here is Trevor Lawrence, and how did he look, and what do you think of Trevor Lawrence's debut here?
Yeah, man. I mean, typical rookie. Maybe better than a typical rookie in his first game. Granted, it was Houston. Houston's does not have a great team, but 332 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. I will take it as a dynasty owner of Trevor Lawrence for sure. I'm looking for much better things to come. I know there'll be some hiccups, and I probably will not start him in some of his much tougher games, but this is a great sign of things to come, I think, from him.
Yeah, another thing that I wanted to mention too is James Robinson. We all thought he'd get the workload there with Travis.
Yeah, right.
Hyde gets 9 carries. I think J-Rob had right around the same amount of carries as him, pretty close to 50-50, I believe.
James Robinson had 5 carries.
5 carries.
Almost half as many. Granted, he saw 6 targets, but he only caught 3 of them. I don't understand how Carlos Hyde is still a thing, guys. Urban Meyer, get your head out of your ass. Stop this. Carlos Hyde is not a thing. Stop it.
Mark Ingram, too, surprised me. I thought for sure it'd be Philip Lindsay being the one.
Oh, my gosh.
Ingram and
2 old dudes. Yeah. 26 carries. All I got to say is go Hokies, man. Tyrod looked phenomenal.
He did. He looked really good. And the rep he's gotten in the passes, he's too conservative. I didn't see that.
He was chalking it today, man.
Yep.
Yeah, against Cooks, because 5 for 132, caught a 52-yard pass too, man. Yeah, he was just throwing it all over the place. So yeah, kudos to him, man. All right, you ready to jump over here to these late afternoon games?
Let's do it.
All right, so we got the game of the afternoon, the Browns and the Chiefs, and man, it looked like the Browns were going to run away with this one, but the Chiefs came storming back and win 33-29. We had Baker Mayfield thrown for 21 for 28, 321 yards, no touchdowns, but a pick. Chubb went off 83 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then Landry caught 5 for 171. We had Mahomes on the other side, 27 for 35, 3 touchdowns. CEH, 14 rushes for only 43 yards, caught 3 for 29. So maybe not what people were expecting here. Tyreek Hill was the player of the day as far as yardage-wise, 197 yards receiving. Wow, 11 receptions. Kelsey did his thing, 6 for 76 and 2 touchdowns. I mean, what's the big takeaway here for you, man?
Well, so CEH, not a great fantasy game, but I believe as far as touches goes, only one other running back got a touch besides CEH. So at least you have that.
Yeah, Darrell Williams. Unless it's Michael Burton. Who the hell is Michael Burton?
I have no idea who that is.
he's on the box score as a carry. Maybe that's late game stuff. Anyway, not relevant. Don't worry about it. That's a fullback.
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
So yeah, definitely don't need to worry about him. So CEH got the full workload, whatever that workload may be, going forward to the season. At least he's getting all of it. Hopefully, he can be more efficient going forward, so they continue to give him the ball. But at least that's there. Other than that, I mean, it was what you expected. I mean, Hill, Kelsey, Mahomes, even the game script. Chiefs get down early, come back. Isn't that what they always do? That's pretty much.
I guess, man.
That's their game.
They don't lose in September, so it is what it is. I don't know. For one of the things that again, I don't want to keep patting myself on the back here, but like I kept telling people left and right, like, don't go after the wide receiver 2 for the Chiefs. It doesn't exist.
Yep.
And Marcus Robinson. I mean, they were down and they still don't exist. Yep. Robinson, Pringle, Hardman, 3 catches, 1 catches, 1 catches. Like, it's not happening, guys. Like, it just doesn't work. They're gonna have like one or two big games each, but like that's kind of it. You can't rely on these guys. Best ball, fine. Take them super duper late. It's not working. So
yeah, definitely agree with that. I think the number 2 receiver doesn't exist in
it hasn't forever. Even when Watkins was there, Watkins I think is still better than all of these guys as much as I don't like Watkins.
Agreed.
So next game up is the Dolphins and Patriots, and the Dolphins win 17-16. Whew, nail biter. Not a big fantasy game here. Tua went 202 yards and a touch. Looked okay. We'll take what we get from him. Sorry. Gaskins 9 for 49. Tua ran in for a touchdown, so there's that. And then the receiving wise, I mean, Parker and Waddle both caught 4. Waddle got in the end zone, so definitely take that. Gesicki was shut out, man. That's bad news, man. I was really looking forward to him this year. Hopefully that's not a thing to come. I mean, I think the Patriots, they're good at like targeting that guy, and I think they probably targeted Gesicki, and they probably should have. On the other side of the ball, Mac Jones, rookie, looked okay, 281. Threw for a touchdown, no interceptions. Damian Harris, man, looked real good, 23 for 100. Didn't get in the end zone, but, it is what it is. Aguilar, 5 for 72 and a touch. What do you got here?
Not a whole lot, really. I mean, other than, if you were worried about Damian Harris, being vultured by Ramondre Stevenson, he kind of put that to rest when he fumbled his first touch. So I think
that's going to put him on the sideline real quick with Belichick. But yeah, we'll see.
So I think Harris is a solid RB2 going forward. He had 23 carries today. He did break the 100-yard mark. So no Cam Newton there anymore. So hopefully he will get those red zone touches now and be a good running back for you. He
out-touched all the other ball carriers by a lot. So I will say James White's PPR value is back. 6 receptions for 49 yards. So those of you in PPR leagues, you can breathe a sigh of relief and start him and get your cheap PPR points. The next to last game here, we got the probably shocker of the day, honestly, man. Packers and Saints. What happened? 38-3 Saints. Jameis Winston, I'm going to start this side of the ball, man. Jameis Winston, 14 for 20, 148 yards. Doesn't sound great, but 5 touchdowns. What? Kamara, 20 for 83. And then Tony Jones Jr., by the way, 11 touches. So there you go. Not much to write home about on the receiving side, except a bunch of guys got in the end zone. I mean, Kamara scored in passing, but like nobody really got a lot of receptions because he only completed 14 passes.
Yeah, for 148 yards.
It sounds like a Russell Wilson day, right? Yeah. Not a Jameis Winston day. Jameis Winston's usually like the other side and throwing 4 picks at the same time. On the other side of the ball, man, like ugly all around. Rodgers ended up getting benched at the end of the game, 133 yards, 2 picks. Jones only carried the ball 5 times, like nothing to write home there about. I mean, Adams, at least in PPR, wasn't like total trash, 5 for 56, but nothing else. I mean, I don't even know what to think. Like, how worried can we be about the Packers, or is this just one of those they didn't play their guys in the preseason and we're just hoping they're going to be much better?
Yeah, it was that, and I think the humidity in Florida kind of got them too, because it showed on the telecast a few times where their guys are just laboring. They just can't handle that humidity. They're not used to it down there. So it kind of wore the defense down. And then Rodgers, I saw a stat. I think PFF sent it out. If he had thrown the ball into the dirt every single time, his quarterback rating was 39. His quarterback rating today, with trying to complete passes, was 32. So he would have been better off throwing the ball into the dirt 28 times than it was trying to complete passes. So that's how bad Rodgers was. Probably one of his worst games he's ever had. Obviously killed your Devontae Adams, shares as well. And I think just chalk it up to a bad game, hopefully, and they get it back next week in week 2.
That Rodgers stat, like you do drafts on Sleeper, right? And like when you draft somebody like a little outside of the ADP, and you get that stat, that's what went through my head. All right, last game of the night here. We got the Broncos and the Giants, and not a pretty game. Broncos win 27-13. Teddy Bridgewater, looked okay. 264 for 2 touchdowns. Mel Gordon, 101 yards. Granted, one of them was a 70-yard rush. That's kind of what he needs to do every game to have his stat line. It seems like he does it more often than you want him to. Javonte Williams actually out-touched him, 14 carries. So there you go. Judy, 6 for 72. However, Judy is out multiple weeks, 6 to 8, I believe I saw, with a high ankle sprain.
Not good.
So that's not good, man. But he was beasting out before he went. He was doing what everybody was hoping he would do. So now it is going to be, we don't know, because Courtland Sutton didn't show up. We got a lot of KJ Hamler. We got a lot of Tim Patrick. We got Noah Fant showing up. Yeah, good luck figuring this one out, guys.
And Teddy B's one to spread the ball around too. And yes, the one catch for Sutton surprised me.
Yeah, I thought especially when Judy went out, I thought Sutton was going to be targeted a lot heavier, but maybe coming off that Achilles tear is really going to slow him down more than we all thought. And it wasn't talked about a lot in the preseason, but maybe it should have been.
Yeah.
On the other side of the ball, Daniel Jones did Daniel Jones things. 264 and a touchdown and a fumble. That's the Daniel Jones thing. Barkley, as we all expected, didn't get a heavy workload. 10 for 26. Sterling Shepard shined, man. 7 for 113 and a touchdown. So there you go. There's the one shining moment for the Giants. But what do you think here? I think my takeaway here is, Mel Gordon had the more yards and he got the touchdown, but this backfield for Denver is already leaning Javonte Williams.
Yep, it's already started. I think we kind of thought it would be happening in the middle of the season, but I think Melvin Gordon helped his case with a 70-yard touchdown, and we'll probably still get carries based on that. But had he not had that, I think Williams slowly started to take him over. And if you got Williams shares in your dynasty leagues, or even if you draft him in a redraft, I think week 3, week 4, week 5, he's going to be really showing out, because I think he had a tough game today, but I think overall, I think Williams is going to be a beast eventually.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right, man. That's it for the games. I think the score right now is the Rams 20, Bears 7, if I can look over my laptop. Yep. There we go. And so I'm expecting the Rams to take this one, but, it's not over yet. We'll see what happens. 5 minutes to go left in the third quarter. But, yeah, man, it was a great first show, and look forward to doing it the rest of the season.
Definitely, man. A lot of fun.
All right. Talk to you guys later. That didn't work.